Okay, I guess we've answered just about all of your questions. But we do have 4 questions today for Ask Us Anything.
We do.
Once again, if you have any questions, ask us anything.
Ask us anything.
The first question is from Joanne Haley Kelly. And she wants to know if Jimmy's ever been arrested.
I have. We're not going to talk about why, but I have. That's my one thing I don't.
Oh, we got to wait. We were straight. You didn't even move it. Anyway.
And you're halfway out of the screen. You didn't even notice.
Yes, I did. I could see that I was. Because it's all about you.
Well, that's true.
Anyway, the guy had a question about our stuff, and then we got to talking. But you don't know that because we were back like that. See, I can't snap my finger. Snap your finger. Just like that, we were back.
Boom.
But anyway.
So what was the question that we were?
Have you ever been arrested?
I have been arrested. I will give half the story. It was for stealing. Not proud. But it was, I can tell you the one part.
Where works.
Yes. So the part that I know I shouldn't have been aggravated the whole time about the whole thing because it was my fault, but it was aggravating, was they kept saying, like, you stole this for drugs. And I'm like, I don't do it, which is God's honest, you can ask her. Yeah. I have never done drugs. So, I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, hey, try this. Yeah, but I've never had a drug problem. So I'm like, no. And they're like, no, you wouldn't do it unless you're doing it. And like for like an hour, they kept trying. And I'm like, I don't know if you're trying to just, what the hell happened? I'm like, I don't know if you're just trying to get me to admit it so you guys could do something, but I've never done them, so I'm going to keep saying no. And it was just aggravating.
And just a little bit on the subject, it was like he worked where I worked, and when my mother picked him up, and when my sister Mary, Sue, and Denise and I had gone to the show, and when we came home back to my mother's house, my mother came out to the car, and so she told Denise and Mary and Sue, she says, just go in the house and lock the door and don't let your sister in. And then she proceeded to tell me.
Yes.
So then it was...
that was the only problem, though. Really, the only...
Yes.
I never got into trouble other than that.
No, and then Danny got into
trouble.
Yeah, because
federal trouble.
No, yeah, but he lucked out because it was the month before his 18th birthday.
It was.
So he lucked out. Even the policeman told him. And the only reason he got arrested was because...
I don't think anything would have happened for that. Like,
I don't know. That's
charges.
That's federal property.
Yeah, I think they would have just been like...
It would have been a felony.
No, they wouldn't have.
They would have. See, that's the thing. You don't think
back then? No. Now, yeah, they would for sure.
They probably would have. But he had just bought a car from Denise's friend, whose husband was a police officer, and the description of the car matched the car that was just sold to Danny. So they came, and then Christy never was arrested.
No,
but she had to go to court.
She had to go to court.
But everyone in my family's been to court.
Everyone's been in front of a judge.
Yeah, in front of a judge. Lolu, Lolu, wants to know what caused your hernia.
I have no clue. I don't know if it was, I'm sure it was something to do with work because I'm always lifting heavy stuff. So it probably happened and I never knew. And then it happened during golf. So
yeah,
I have to imagine that it would not be golf causing the hernia. I would think it was just constantly lifting stuff. And I knew I had a small hernia on the right-hand side, which they said don't even worry about because it was that small.
Why didn't they fix that while they're in
Because it's like, well, they're going to fix it now. They're
going
for the surgery for there. But at the time, it was on the right side. And they were like, it's not even worth the surgery because it can't even do anything. But now that they're going in for this surgery, they're going to do both. But it's probably from lifting things, and I just tore whatever is there, the wall, or whatever your wall, just enough for everything to poke out. And
but
I'll tell you, I knew exactly when it happened.
But it didn't stop him from golfing this whole weekend.
No, because they gave me a hernia belt, and the hernia belt basically, it's just Velcro, wraps around your waist, and it presses on where the hernia is.
See, I would use that for the rest of my life at work with your job.
No, I got another story about that. So it presses on there, and I did not feel it at all the entire weekend. So, but I was talking to the guys at work. I'm like, I don't get it. this hernia belt works, and I come to work and I don't have it on because you can't wear it with a tool belt on because it would just get in the way everywhere. And I'm like, I don't get why I never hurt at work. And then Gary, the one guy's like, hey, genius. And I go, what? And he goes, your belt is like this thick on your tool belt and it's going right over where it is. And I cinch it down so that actually holds it in. I'm like,
true.
That makes sense.
That's true. For Christmas, Jimmy bought David a really, really, really nice tool belt thing. And David brought it back, got his money back. And then, a month later, went and had to go buy his own because he realized that it was a good, and so he had to spend all of that money. So it was like, whatever. Kind of balanced out, I guess.
It did.
But still kind of.
No, he never took that back.
Didn't he take that back? I thought he took that belt back.
No, he kept taking
the suspenders.
The suspenders back, not the belt, the tool belt.
Yeah.
Because he was like, because we have suspenders that hook on it. And everyone will tell you that wears the suspenders. The first 2 weeks, your back hurts, your sides hurt.
That's why he didn't like it, because of the weight.
You're not used to the weight being held on because, it's all the weight from the bags hanging on.
Yeah.
But now, if you don't have it on, they're all hanging from your hips. And I can tell you, when your hips hurt and you're trying to walk, I will take that all day. And then he wore it for 2 weeks, and he's like, oh, I see what you mean now. This is way easier. I'm like, don't listen to the wise guy.
So much younger. See, like with the old guy that wanted you to carry the cooler.
Oh, that was funny. So there were a couple of guys that are up in age, way up in age. So actually, the short guy. So he come walking.
That was the other video.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, that was the other video. Wally. So he's like, Jimmy, I can't pick up my cooler because they don't go out to eat. They pack all their groceries like some people. They got we're going on a 4-day trip. We better.
Kind of reminds me of that commercial when the people are getting on the plane. Don't buy that. I have a whole bag.
Yeah. So they got a cooler full of like all their groceries, and he's like, I can't lift that cooler. Can you carry it to the room? So I'm expecting it to be heavy, and Steve is like, Jimmy got a hernia. I'm like, it's fine. And I go to pick it up. It couldn't have weighed 20 pounds. So the whole way I'm laughing at him, and he's like, one day you're going to be this old, and it's going to be that heavy, so just shut up and carry it in. Which is true.
Well, like David's looking forward to not being the low guy on the pole.
He is.
The low guys, the young guy too, is the one that's got to unload everything.
Yes.
So he's looking forward to that day. Joanne Piduch, Piduch. This is for me. Do I use the app and the paper to track? Yes, I use the Weight Watchers app and I track on that. I look at the calories, just kind of have it in my mind how many calories there are. But I also track on paper too, so that the app, sometimes it's hard to go back and look, but I can go back like years back onto my old journals to see what I was eating when I was losing weight. So I try to do that. And my quotes, I just go on to Google and I just say weightloss.com, and then it'll give you a whole list of different ones, and then you just kind of think of what your theme is for the day, and I look for that quote. So like today is the start of a new week, so I'll just go quotes about the start of a new week, and then it'll pull up all these different quotes. And then if I want to do quotes about despair, you put quotes about despair, and then all of them come up. Right. So that's how I get all my quotes. And
so you don't use my fitness app?
I don't use your fitness app. Did you send me a fitness app?
No, the My Fitness app is what it's called.
Oh,
that's the one I use.
No, I don't use that. I use
because that one you type in. I'll have to double check, but I believe it's called My Fitness app. You type in what you're eating, and it tells you everything. It tells you.
Well, that's kind of like the iTrack bites.
Yeah, it tells you how many calories it is.
No, I just do the Weight Watchers.
The fat and all that.
True.
Yeah.
And the last question, because you guys weren't that interested in anything we had to say
Nothing this week.
Mary Singleton wants to know what your favorite subject was in school.
Ooh, it was a tie because I had history and building trades. I picked building trades.
My favorite was history. I loved history. And I still do love history.
Yeah, because we had a 3-hour class for building trades.
And I did like gym class. I had a lot of fun in gym.
I never had fun in gym because I took everything too serious. You know what I mean? Like, if we're playing basketball.
You took things serious?
No, like as far as sports.
Oh,
if we're playing basketball, we're playing basketball the right way. Not, hey, look, Tina over there is just going to stand there polishing her nails and she's on my team. No, it's like, no.
Danny, I would say, was the worst sports person.
Yeah, Danny was worse, and then I was like right behind him.
Danny was so bad that if he was watching a game or something, you could ground. He would be grounded.
And if he annoyed me, because if our teams were playing each other, this is a true statement. You could ask her if our teams were playing each other that we were rooting against, and he was annoying. Like if my team was losing, and he was, like kids do. Like if my team was winning, I'd be like, and if he was losing. But I knew with Danny how to get under his skin. Go figure. So if his team was winning and he was talking smack, I would just get him going on oh, do you believe the referee just called that? Why would you call that? And then he'd yell up, and then Mom would come in. That's it, get out. And then I'm like, cool, I'm watching the game in peace.
You couldn't watch the game. That was because he used to really get in. I said, Danny, you don't know these people. That game is not win or lose. It's not going to affect your life. But you don't understand. He called him that ball hit right on the line. Okay, no. I don't get it.
Yep, that's the way to get Danny out.
And then what was your least favorite subject in school?
Least favorite? English was so boring.
English was my least favorite. But if I had to say the least favorite part about it was the diagramming. To this day.
Nope, I take it back. Marketing 101, or not, what was the one I had? It was something to do with business. What the hell? It might have even been business.
I don't remember.
Business economics. Oh my God. I don't know why I took that. Like, it was like, and it wasn't even like you needed it. So it was like, I was looking through the list like, yeah, we'll try that. And then I remember like day 3, like, I am sleeping through this entire class. I don't care what grade I get.
Yeah. No, I didn't like doing all the diagrammings and just like this, and then you'd go off to this.
That's a prepositional phrase.
I didn't get. I don't get that. I didn't. I
remember that from Mr. Gunst, because if you got that wrong, you got an eraser thrown at your head.
Yes.
Get enough erasers thrown at your head.
Back
you remember what a prepositional phrase is.
Back in the day, we didn't know that Jimmy had ADD. He still does. But at the time, we didn't know. And I always remember when he started high school. And we went for the first conference, and the teacher was one of these ones that had tenure, so that they were never going to get fired.
Right.
And I was trying to explain. I said, well, I don't know what it is with Jimmy, because, he gets very distracted very easily. He's very smart. He really is. If you can grasp onto the right way to teach him, he's really, really, really smart. And he can figure out whatever it is. And sometimes he might get to it like the long way around, not the right way, but he's going to get to the right answer, because that's how smart he is. And so then the teacher looked at me with a straight face, and she said, there are smart people in the world and there's stupid people in the world. And let's face it, we're not going to put Jimmy in that smart category. I got up from the table. I walked right over to the principal. I said, get my child out of this class. He's not going to stay in that. Well, Mrs. Carrickle, we've already got the things. Oh, hell no. Before they let me out of that office, he had his thing switched. And then he was I forget what class that was for. But whatever class, it was like for mechanical engineering or something like that.
It was something I didn't even want to be in.
But it was something that had to do with building, which is what we were leaning him towards.
Oh, mechanical drafting.
Mechanical drafting.
Yes, that's what it was.
And he couldn't figure, he could get to the right answer, but not the way they wanted him to get to the right answer.
That's the class, after calling me stupid, I forgot to add that. That was the class where they said, sit down and design your whole thing.
Right.
And I was done in 3 months.
Right. Yes.
With an A.
Right. But not with that teacher, because I got him out of that class. And the teacher just knew he could say whatever he wanted, and he wasn't going to get fired.
Now picture me in that class.
Yes.
Oh, that would have been a world of hurt. That guy would have regretted saying that.
I know. But back then you were meek.
A little bit. A little bit.
Anyway, if you have any questions for us next week,
just ask.
Ask us anything, because we'll answer them. We will. If you want to know any more about Jimmy's past.
It's lively.
It's lively. There's lots to know.
There is lots to know.
So think of it as a job interview. Think of a job interview question you might want to ask Jimmy. He's been on many an interview.
I have been on a couple. Just a couple.
If you're new to our channel, please subscribe,
like,
comment,
and share.
Okay, talk to you guys next week.